Under your theology, the God of the universe created all of us, put two innocent individuals into a garden and told them not to do the very thing that he knew they were going to do and needed to know ahead of time, and then punished them for something that they couldn't possibly have known was wrong, and then punished all of their descendants through inherited sin, and then killed everybody off because they still wouldn't love him, and then tormented them, and then picked out the Jews as his favorite, and then let them continue to be barbarians who he told to go out and slaughter the Midianites and slaughter the Amalekites to where there was no trace left, led the charge against everybody who didn't have chariots of iron as the warmongering piece of shit head barbarian that he was, until a couple of thousand years later, he turns over a new leaf and says, you know what, I'm going to come down and take human form and sacrifice myself to serve as an excuse and a loophole for rules that I make so that I can finally find it in my heart to forgive the people that I made broken. And then they're going to sit there and embarrassingly not represent the truth of the book or what I've said. They're going to sit there and tap dance. And when asked a simple question about who made humans, they're going to say, God is still making humans. You, sir, should be absolutely fucking embarrassed.
Now, that was the understanding that most of us who have deconstructed from Christianity came to realize, is that this deity who claims itself to be a good God, a deity of the people of everyone, flip-flopped his script from being the genocidal maniac that he is in the Old Testament to being a God that had to do a human blood sacrifice in order to forgive humans for the very thing that he did, that he created. And the fact that y'all call him father, all these sorts of things, just shows your patriarchy, see? But the main thing that I would want you to grasp from this is how the religion has consistently changed based on the culture to which it was written in and believed upon. And the fact that Christianity today is based on trying to force the ideologies of people who lived 2,000 years ago and to fit into the mindset and the morality of people today is just bullshit. And it's filled with ignorance of people just having to believe simply because this is what you were born into. This is the community you were surrounded by. This is when you went through some emotional situation, was the thing that you grabbed onto because it was something that was within your culture. It would be one thing if someone went through an emotional situation and they gravitated towards a new way of thinking that was completely unheard of from their culture, from their parents, from their country, any of those things. And I'm not talking about, oh, well, I went from Christianity to Buddhism. You heard about Buddhism. You knew about Buddhism. It was something that was within your realm of understanding. I'm talking about you just sit there and think and realize just how messed up all these religions are, and come to the realization that whatever man has tried to create will ultimately fail you. And God, according to the Bible, God, according to the Quran, God, according to the Tanakh, God, according to the Hadith, God, according to any of these books that are written by man, will ultimately fail you. The only thing that is not written by man, how nature works, the laws of nature, the understanding of nature, which some would call science, but even at a higher level of science, to understand the spiritual side of science and how things possibly work in a higher spiritual plane based on the evidence of how things work on the matter plane. Sitting, contemplating, watching nature, and realizing through the viewpoint of nature, without man's hands on it, of how the natural universe works. Because if there is a creator, then that creator would have only functioned through the process of the natural universe. And the things that you call luck, chance, and miracles are just natural universal forces to which we just don't know yet. So y'all have a great day. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.